And now that time has finally come. No, I won't destroy the world. As I mentioned in my last video, I will be making a tutorial as soon as I'm able to monetize my channel. This video will teach you everything you need to know in Bleach painting. From what are the equipments needed, what to do and what not to do. Equipments you will need are bleach, t-shirt, respirator mask, paintbrush, cup, chalk, and illustration board. Oh, my bad. There you go. These are all the paintbrush I have, but these are the ones that I mostly use, especially the round brush. For the shirt, I use 100% cotton. Any brand will do. Not all 100% cotton t-shirt would come out with the same result. Some shirts are just not good for animes. There are also some shirts that are not good for portraits. But only one shirt can do great with both animes and portraits, and that is this. I love their product, but no, I am not sponsored by them. I tried reaching out though. I even made a letter, but unfortunately I got no response. So yeah. As for the bleach, I use Zonrox bleach. It may be different in other countries, so just use what's available in your country. As for the chalk, I use this very cheap box of chalk. I only bought this for like 39 pesos, which is less than $1. As for the cup, you can use any type of cup, whatever is available in your house, as long as they are all the same, because it will matter when we mix our bleach. And now is the time that we will be mixing water and bleach. We do this to achieve different types of shades. This is the cup that I am using. We will be making 5 mixtures of bleach and water, 10 by 90, 20 by 80, 30 by 70, 40 by 60, and 50 by 50. There are different ways to mix water and bleach. You can either just do it by estimating, or you can also use a syringe. But for me, I use this. So now let's put some markings on how much water and bleach we must put. We will first do the 10% bleach, 90% water. I'll be marking my limit at the 5th centimeter. So if 5 is the limit, 10% of 5 is 0.5. So we will also be marking here. That's going to be the limit of the bleach that we should put, and the rest is water. Got it? Alright, let's make another one. Now let's do 20% bleach, 80% water. So if 5 is the limit, 20% of 5 is 1. So we will also be marking here. That's going to be the limit of the bleach that we should put, and the rest is water. Just simple as that. Now you just have to do it 3 more times again for the 30 by 70, 40 by 60, and 50 by 50. And now we will put some bleach into those cups. The first mark is gonna be the limit of the bleach that we must put, and the second mark is for the water's limit. As you can see, we made a little mistake, but don't worry, we'll just have to put that into the next cup. So now we will have to do it 4 more times for the 20 by 80, 30 by 70, 40 by 60, and 50 by 50. And this is how they look like after all of that. And now we will fill them up with water, but keep in mind that the limit is only at the second mark. And now mixing bleach and water is finally done. And this is how they look like next to each other. You can clearly see the slight difference. More water is lighter result, less water is brighter result. you don't know how to draw just like this guy, you will have to do the thing called Doodle Grid. So let's first draw some random shapes. It can be whatever you want, a circle, square, triangle, star, hearts, or even numbers. After that, let's take a picture of it. And then we'll edit our reference in our phone using whatever application you want. For me, I use IBIS Paint X, import the picture, add the reference, position it in the center, change the blending mode to screen to remove the black parts, adjust the opacity, and we are good to go. Simple as that. And this is going to be our reference. You thought I'll be teaching you directly with the hard stuff? Of course not. Let's first start with the basics. You won't be able to do that in my thumbnail if you don't know how to do the basics. So we are gonna make our way up, and we will be starting with the simplest one. And now that the sketch is done, we will now start applying some bleach. And if you don't want your work to look like this, keep in mind that after you dip your brush into the bleach, you should always remove a small amount of bleach that's holding onto the brush by rubbing it onto the side of the cup. And when you apply it, it will result to smooth and crispy lines. So now let's actually start painting. Since this is only going to be a line art, we will only be using one cup. The 40 by 60 will do the job. When doing this, just make sure that you're always looking at your reference from time to time. Every time you dip your brush onto the bleach, you should always remove some excess bleach before you apply it. Just take your time, don't rush it, and that's it. We are all finished. Now let's do the second skull. When doing this, make sure to apply equally on every parts as best as you can. Don't leave some parts unattended for a while because it will come out to an even result, especially when you're applying a high bleach ratio. Let's pause this real quick and I will show you an example. If you first apply a low bleach ratio, don't worry too much if the first layer would come out like this, because if you add another layer, it will be smoother than before, especially if you add one more. You see the difference? It doesn't only make it smoother, but also brighter in every layer. So now let's go back and finish the second skull. We are done applying the first layer. I only used 20 by 80 mixture for this. It's still wet and this is how it looks like when it's dry. As I mentioned earlier, the first layer may come out uneven, but don't worry about it too much because it will be better after the second layer. But the bright part doesn't seem bright enough, so I add another layer to make it more brighter. Take note that I'm only using 20 by 80 mixture in every layer. And it's finally done. I will be showing you the result later, but first let's do the third skull. But it looks like it faded due to my elbow rubbing it unintentionally. Before we actually start painting the third skull, let me show you how to do it. In order to blend, I usually start with the bright parts using 30 by 70. Paired with this brush called filbert brush. And when you apply bleach using this, it should be facing like this. You see how the edges looks like it's fading? That's the result of using this type of brush instead of using a round brush. But blending is also possible using round brush, but it usually takes more time because after you dip your brush into the bleach, you then remove some excess bleach by rubbing it onto the side of the cup. But after that, you'll also need to get an extra cloth and do this every time before applying it. By doing so, the result will be almost the same as the filbert brush. Now let's add another layer using the same bleach ratio. You dip, you rub, you apply, and this is the result. Now that you know how to blend, let's go back and finish the third and final skull. When it comes to blending, I usually do the highlight first using this small filbert brush paired with the 30 by 70 bleach ratio. When doing this, just try your best to make it as accurate as possible. And now we're done applying the first layer. and this is how it looks like when it's dry. Now let's add another layer. It doesn't look nice at the moment, but just trust the process. I'm still using here the 30:70 bleach ratio. I also use different size of brush in some parts to do it faster. And that's it. The second layer is finished. As you can see, it's finally looking good except for the head. Now let's add another layer to make it pop out even more. For the third layer, I'm using here the 20:80 bleach ratio. You can also add another layer after this if you want, but for me, this is enough. So without further ado, here is the result. I hope that you learned something. If you still have some questions, just let me know in the comment section below.